live. I believe we live. Yo, Hove, appreciate the resub for 3 months in a row. I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, welcome everybody to like the first episode of dropping our 2 cents. Yeah, I had to turn down the music. I forgot I usually have a device that can turn down the background music or whatever, and I'm at my actual YouTube studio desk. It's not my stream desk, so
Bro, I did it
but
again.
yeah, we're gonna have some what do you mean you did it again? What?
I was muted on stream. So let me start
This
over. I'm
guy.
Plat. Yo, it's your boy Plat in this house. So to say, I'm talking about Maine. Out here with my boy, my brother from the same mother, Squidhead Joe, doing our first podcast ever. Gosh, this is like the
Yeah.
third time this week.
Third time this week? What?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
I'm gonna need you to get on that, dude. Get on that. So yeah, this episode is the first episode. Like I said, we're gonna have some technical difficulties. We're gonna have some growing pains. I'm not sure how long it's gonna go. I'm kind of over my time already where I was supposed to watch my son, where I'm like an hour over, but wife's chilling, talking to some family and stuff like that. And I kind of told her what was going on today and everything. So we'll see how long we can get into. Hopefully in the future, maybe if we continue to do this type of thing, we'll go ahead and I would say have the ability to go ahead and do this more often, possibly. Again, Platt's my brother. Uh, I don't know what else to say about that. We're just, you know, I would say kind of people just who got into content creation. I want to say I got in a little bit before him.
Yeah, a few
But yeah,
years.
hopefully, like I said, if we want to continue to do this kind of thing, where we're maybe in the future we can have some sponsors. I might go ahead and talk to Glitch. I'm sponsored by them, which is an energy supplement company, and I'm also sponsored by Fine, which is a microphone company. So maybe in the future we can have like a sponsor segment and stuff. Tell you guys about something as far as that goes. But right now, just straight out the box, we're just gonna test this out. It's like a pilot episode, I would say, to see if anybody's like kind of interested in this. So like the overlays, everything was just kind of done
Spare the moment.
randomly. Yeah, it's fair. Respawn invitational. The challenge this week was to do something that we normally don't do, like the type of content that we normally don't do, stepping out. And it's kind of hard for me and my brother, at least inside this competition for this round or wherever, because we do so much.
Yeah.
With me, I do product reviews, content creation, education videos. I upload that to Twitter and YouTube. My TikToks are my gaming highlights from my video games and stuff like that, and dancing or wherever. On stream, I'm playing video games or dancing. Uh, in the past, I'm known to vlog or wherever. I haven't done it like almost a year, but I still have done like vlogs and stuff. So even if I did it, it would still be normal to me. So getting out of the comfort zone or wherever, the only other thing was to play a different type of game that I normally don't play. And in my personal opinion, that's not indicative of what the challenge was supposed to be. So it's like nothing really out of my comfort zone. It's like I'm just an actual I say this all the time. I'm actually like a variety content creator, not somebody who just play SPF games and then like we played today, like the survival crafting game or wherever. Like that's to me not I would say variety content creator. That's not a variety streamer or anything like that. That's just a different genre. It would be different like if you were a streamer and you were playing video games and then maybe you were painting and then maybe you rapped or made music or beats or something like that. And then maybe you danced and then maybe you did some IRL content like you and your significant other went to a restaurant and ate. You know what I'm saying? Like you were streaming it. Like that would be variety. And I feel like when you ask us, like I said, I do all that stuff, but my brother kind of does that too. He got himself a camera now, and he's doing content creation, education videos and stuff. Probably going to get
Yeah.
into some vlogging. Me and him talked about doing possibly like learning to get into photography. I'm trying to do on Instagram or wherever, learn product photography, and he's trying to get into that stuff. So it's like and he does, like I said, content creation education over on his TikToks. He uploads his gaming content as well. Like and
Yeah.
obviously streams games and stuff. So like we're already kind of
Yeah, it's like
doing all that.
yeah, it's like trying to step out of my comfort zone. And I'm like, for me and Squid, like both of us, like our comfort zone is pretty big because of how
Yeah,
vast the content is and how diverse it is depending on which platform you're watching our content on. Like he does all that, and then like with mine, it's like I do motivational advice and tips and stuff for streamers on my TikTok, but also I upload gamer clips. But then also on top of that, I do unboxings for things. I've done product review type stuff. And then on top of that, I do cosplay. You know what I mean? It's just like depending on what platform you're gonna see me on, it's like I've done like different type of like taking pictures of products and different things that I posted on like Instagram or on Twitter and stuff like that, trying to put out motivational like type of tweets and stuff. Like I've switched things up, and I'm like, all right, what do I do that's different than what I already done? I've done just chatting streams and stuff like that, but it's like, what's different? Like, you know what I mean? What are
Yeah.
like like something that's like in a different type of style? And I'm like, I've changed up my editing styles and stuff like on how like the different angles of different like how the image is like filtered and stuff like that. It's like we've changed things over the years, and it's like especially if you've been doing this for multiple years, like my brother's been doing it at least like a year or two before me, and like I'm almost at 5 years, so it's like 5 years of like doing this, and it's like from where I started to where I am now, like
Mm.
how do we get outside of a comfort zone of something when we've diversified ourselves so much when it comes to our content in general? So it's
Yeah.
like we like I was like, bro, like, you want to do something? We had one idea, but then ended up turning into two other different ideas. It's like, and I think that's like the biggest part of what this collab was about, at least in my eyes, for us to like come together with another creator and diversify by, figuring out a collaboration that would, amplify us even further for future content. And it's like, for one, with this podcast for us, like I've never done a podcast type stream, and it's like I don't think Squid has either. It's like I'm pretty sure like we both
It's
talk
been
on our
years.
stream. Yeah, it's like
Been
we
years for
we
me.
both like talk on stream, but it's just us. But now we're bouncing ideas off each other. We're talking to each other. We're talking about what we did and different things. It's like it's completely different than our normal content, you know. And it's like
Yeah.
we're coming together to brainstorm and develop something for y'all to review, and then we're gonna go back and then you're gonna see how different we edit it. You know what I mean? It's like my brother has a different editing style than I do, so is like that's even more diversifying. It's like, yeah, we're collabed on something, but then we're also gonna change it up to where it's like, hey, this is how we're gonna display it for everybody.
Oh yeah. Because like you were saying, yeah, we're supposed to like you said, collab and everything, and it's getting us
Yo, what's up,
to the point to where
Jimmy?
we can, you know, I would say pick who we wanted to work with and stuff like that, and being able to maybe do type of content that we normally don't do. Like I mentioned, like I do product reviews and stuff. So one thing that I haven't really done since like I'll say if anybody played Destiny 2, Forsaken. I haven't done like the review on a video game or DLC or anything for that long. And that's one reason why I kind of switched over to doing products because I realized my talents were better served there than doing video game stuff. But at the same time, it's like, what if we played a game that we normally don't, type of game that we normally don't play, record it instead of streaming it, and kind of do a collaboration review on something? And I haven't never done a actual like collab review. I've done product reviews, I've done gaming like reviews or whatever, at least on one type of game. Um, but I've never done this type of like review thing. So it worked out, but I think the reason why it worked out, and it's not necessarily both of us are brothers. I think it's the fact of we were able to. We kind of talked about it offline. We were able to gel with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we able to get along with each other. And I've mentioned it multiple times, like on my stream and within my content and stuff. I have mental disabilities, like crippling to the point to where I'm 100% disabled. It took me almost 10 years to get like the VA to realize that, yeah, he is 100% disabled. I've been locked up in the actual insane asylum and stuff like that. Not to get like too dark or wherever, but I do have like PTSD. Uh, I do have bipolar type 2, sleep apnea, all that stuff or whatever. So it's really hard for me, especially with my PTSD being more triggered by humans and interaction with humans and people and personalities and stuff like that. So I can't really interact and collab with everybody out there. And it doesn't mean like how do I put this? It doesn't mean like the person's personality is bad, or the person could be like the most awesome person in the history of the world. But if they do something and trigger my PTSD or wherever, like with having the mood swings of the bipolar type 2, wherever, meaning like my depression is really, really bad. And it takes me forever to get to those high moments or wherever, or feel normal, even with medication, trying to be a mood stabilizer and stuff. Um, it affects me, and we talked about it. My brother says all the time, his little thing, but about taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, spiritually, and all that stuff, which is something that I really like, and I praise him for, because it's super important to do that within consecration, especially when it comes to collabing and stuff. And that's why, like, when it comes to stuff like this, it's kind of hard for me. And it's like, I'm most people in the competitions and stuff like that, even with the respawn recruits, people might see my content and might kind of see like the production value and see like the type of stuff I do, but nobody really knows who I am or really interacts. And I feel like it's because of the personality I have or wherever. I'm kind of like a stern, straightforward, kind of no sugarcoat kind of person. And it's because of my mental disabilities and just how I am as a person. You can call me jaded if you want to, but like I said, my triggers being humans and my interactions and stuff like that. Like I said, people can be like the best person out there on the face of the planet, but if they do something to trigger me, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a safe place for me and that person or wherever to us to collab or interact with each other. And that's why I'm glad this time around we could pick and choose who we wanted to collab with. And it's to the point to where if my brother wasn't in this competition right now, I don't know who I would have collabed with or wherever for this challenge. At at the end of the day, like I mentioned, my brother saying that stuff, you have to take care of yourself. Yourself always comes first. And you should never do something, regardless on what the opportunity is, that's going to put yourself at a detriment.
Yeah.
Uh, and regardless of, because there's going to be people out there that don't get it, they don't understand it, regardless if they're I would say sympathetic to your plight. There's people out there just who are not going to comprehend it, you know what I'm saying? um they're just people that just, I like that. And I think we were going to talk about it, but like even in the military, it's, at least when I was in, it was frowned upon having mental issues, or even talking about like having possible PTSD and stuff, especially if you didn't see like direct combat, like
Nah, bro.
grant
Like
grants.
I wholeheartedly agree. Like some people, I feel like just do collabs just to do a collab, and then move on to the next just to do another collab, and it's just like that's not the purpose of these challenges. It's
Yeah.
for you to find like-minded people and create like a lot of it is like if people are not listening to what the partners are saying and stuff, like saying like, hey, quality over quantity. Some people are just like, I need to jump on this clap. I need to jump on this clap. I need to get, I get it. You're trying to get your name out there, which like we all are trying to do so that, you know, people know who we are because we love our content. So we want others to love our content too. I 100% get it. But at what cost are you doing this? It's like you collabing with somebody, they're taking up some of your mental space. They might take up some of your emotional because things might not go the way you think they're going to go. They're taking up your physical because like once your mental starts breaking, your physical health starts getting affected by it. And then like if you're like into the spiritual stuff or religious or whatever and stuff like that, that starts bringing in other things that starts altering who you are. And it's like we're human. Our outs every outside factor affects us and how we operate, and that's how we get our personalities. That's how we get our how we talk. Because it's like if you go up north, they talk a different way than how they talk down south, than how they talk out in on the west coast and stuff, or in the Midwest. Like the languages and like the dialect and just the slang and stuff changes depending on where you're at. So it's like it's the same when it comes to creator space. Having certain influences from others can affect how you do your content and just how you want to produce your content. Because there's some streamers, whatever, to where it's like I've used them like I don't like their content, so I make sure that my content's not like that. It's like I literally go look at certain people's like panels and how certain things are set up, and it's like, because I thought about doing that, and it's like I use them as inspiration of like, that's not how I want my stuff set up. You know what I mean? It's just like sometimes negatives are a positive, but purposely putting yourself with negativity is not like not the way to go, you know? So it's
Yeah.
just like ultimately it's like you need to develop your own safe space for yourself and knowing what your limits are. And just doing something just to do it is not the way to go with that. Like is it's literally like they've been saying quality over quantity. You just popping on a bunch of different collabs
Mhm.
like is
And
doing what? Because now you're
that's pretty
overtasking
much what I
yourself.
was saying. Cause like at some point, like if you don't like this person or wherever, or like you decided to collab and it just doesn't work out, or it's not really gelling and it's not like for whatever reason, it could be a multi myriad of reasons why. But if you're doing it wherever just because it's a challenge and stuff like that, it's like how do I put it? It's like you're faking it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're faking the thing just to complete a challenge. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it, and at that point, is it really worth it? Like you going through, like he was saying, like all that mental, that physical distress and everything. Like that's what I was saying. Like that's why I didn't know who to collab with and stuff. Cause it's like if some like with my brother or wherever, we have this understanding. Like we've talked about it multiple times when I, come down to visit and stuff like that. He might go through the same things that within the military and probably even like worse, like actually being in a firefight, all that stuff, and come out perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? On the other end, he might be worse than me, or some, or it might be like the same like pocket. Like we both have mental issues, but he's dealing with it in a different way than I'm dealing with it and stuff like that. But we have that mutual understanding. And again, it's not because only because we're brothers. It's because we have the mental capacity to understand. And even though, like I said, some people can be sympathetic to you having mental issues or your feelings and everything, but it's that whole adage of walk a mile in their shoes.
Like because even with this invitation, there was a lot of people that were invited that were either never in recruits or like haven't been in recruits for like the last like 2 years. You know what I mean? So it's just like it just was a myriad of people that got
And I think
invited.
that goes back to them saying like they're always watching. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's like they're always watching, and it's like it's not just respawn. When they say respawn, that's like the partners and different things, the social media manager. It's like they're all like they I don't know if they still do. I don't know if it's all under one Discord channel. We just can't see those channels, whatever. I don't know how it is. But I know like especially at the last like podcast that Smoogly had posted, like there's like a channel where they all talk and come together and talk, you
Mhm.
know? So it's just like they're always like coming together and bouncing ideas and talking about things and stuff like that. So it's just like they're watching us when we don't know. And they know when people are messing up or saying certain things or doing whatever. It's not telling you, I'm not saying this to say like walk on eggshells because it's one of those things. It's like I truly believe everybody should be 100% who they are and be genuine on who they are, not be genuine as like, oh, I have to be good. But it's one of those things. It's like we all know we're all imperfect. Like it's a thing. Nobody's perfect. But the whole thing is like faking it till you make it is not the way you should go. And just doing stuff just for people to like you is not the way to go either. It's like people should like you for you. 100% should like you for you. If you feel like you need to get feedback, then ask for that feedback to get that criticism, to get those critiques from people and stuff to better you as you, not to fit in a certain box, to fit the mold for whatever. That's not the way you should be operating because it's like, honestly, it's like people can tell when you're being fake. People can tell you when you're being genuine, or people can just tell like you're just doing this just to do it. And then it goes back to just collabing with any and everybody. Like you still have to post videos and stuff. When are you gonna have time to like edit that down? Because it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, oh, I collab for 4 hours. I'm just gonna upload my stream. It's like, you think they're really gonna watch your 4 hour stream?
Yeah, that's what I was
Like,
telling my brother. Like after
that's not
depending
a
on
thing.
how much like we're gonna stream here, like this kind of stream a podcast or whatever will probably just be uploaded unedited. But that video that we recorded is like 3 hours of footage. We're gonna have to cut down to probably like an hour or something like that.
Probably even
And like I
less, and
said,
just do like
an
highlights
hour,
of it.
yeah,
Like,
and then like the hour of us talking about the game or wherever it was like like I said, there was so much to discuss in our thoughts and opinions. Like, how do we get this down? So it's like, and that's just one collab, or
yeah,
technically two collabs, but that's just like me and him collabing on just I would say one thing or wherever, or like one collaboration or wherever. It's like two videos, and it's like you only have X amount of time to do it. Like, how are you going to do it every single day? And then, like we talked about earlier, like people's schedules and stuff. It's like, how don't take on too much, man. Just don't take on too much.
Yeah.
Just don't. It's
Like
it's not
I'm
worth it,
already
man.
seeing it. I see like I'm like, bro, these people trying to have a collab every day, multiple times. I'm like, bro, y'all are overtasking yourself, and it's like that's how people
Yeah.
get burnout. And it's just like,
Yep. That's how
bro,
they
get
turn out.
maybe one or two collabs, and then keep it pushing because it's like now you're altering your actual content that you normally post and getting out of your normal routine. Because it's like when you do a collab, it's not on your time. People might try to appease for your time, but it's just like you might have because there's different time zones. People have different work schedules. Something might pop up, and it's like if you try to plan out too many collabs, and then say somebody has something that's like, hey, I gotta take my dog to the vet, I can't collab no more. Now you're out of a collab. And say that was the only one you were scheduled for. It's like, yeah, you might want to have like a backup plan, but planning collabs towards the end of the week is probably not the way to go. Is like best time is probably over the weekend or like early week and stuff
Yeah,
so
that's
that
why
you
we're
have
doing it
give yourself
now.
time. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like even last
because
week it's like me and my
he has
brother
it
had the
off.
same idea. It's like, yo,
Yeah,
get our intro video done on over the weekend because the rest of the week is because I still
yeah.
have
It's like
other
it's
stuff
not.
because like I have a consistent schedule with like TikTok, getting videos out, day scheduled just to edit that stuff. So I have to
Mm.
plan out like editing for my other stuff. Like, so for this, like typically today, like I would have been editing throughout the day. Yes, I got a couple edits done today and yesterday, so I can post some more TikToks. So I pre-staged that so that because I knew a collab was coming. It's like this competition is going on, so it's like you have to plan that out where it's like you're probably gonna have to collab with people or do some type of challenge thing. So you still have to have your normal content because it's
Yeah,
like, but that all depends on like if you truly know like your work schedule, if you truly know how much you can handle. And it showed with the last recruits challenge, not challenge, but the last recruits competition, people burnt themselves out in like the first 2 weeks, so we had to take a whole week break. I'm like, bro, like we've only had technically one challenge and people already burnt themselves out by like week
yeah.
3. Like,
It's like for me, like I only have 4 to 5 hours to a day to do content creation and editing and stuff. Typically for like my product reviews, doing B-roll, A-roll shots, all that stuff, it takes like 2 or 3 days. People need to take care of themselves, man.
yeah,
They need to take care of themselves.
a lot of people just feel like I have to do this. I have to. It's like you don't have to. And it's like you might want to, but it's like you need to take those times for yourself to just relax. And it can be as simple as reading a book, you know what I mean? Or listening to some music or something like that to where your brain is not being overstimulated by like trying to figure this out, whatever, trying to do this and that and the other. It's like you have to calm that down, especially when you're in a competition. Like you think competitors and stuff like that before a game is freaking running themselves ragged. No. If you see them when they're practicing right before the game and stuff like that, yeah, they're shooting the ball around, but you think they're sprinting up and down the court and stuff and doing all this crazy stuff. No, they're just lazily just, all right, I'm gonna take a few shots or whatever, stretch and different things like that. They're making sure their body's warmed up, but they're not burning themselves out before the game. So it's like you burning yourself out before the next week's challenge and stuff like saying I have to do this, I have to do this. It's like this journey is going to be long. If you're trying to make it through anything, so you have to take your time and it's quality. So if you go see any type of sports person or anybody that's being competitive with whatever, it's like before like the big game and like before like championships and stuff like that, they're taking it a little bit easy. Because even like for the Super Bowl, they literally get like 2 weeks break before the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're still practicing and stuff, but you thinking they're going hard to where like they're gonna get injured, they're gonna get burnt out, they're gonna be tired and not up to 100% to go win. You
Oh
should
yeah.
be thinking the same way. I know not everybody plays sports and whatever, but it's like when you're preparing for like getting a project together and stuff like that, are you still cramming, trying to do everything last minute, the day before, hours before? No. You want to knock out things in a certain time frame so that you can get it together and have quality, you know?
Yeah. It's
And
it's not like you wake up one morning and be like, you know what? I'm gonna run a marathon. I'm gonna go out and run a marathon. Like you don't do that. You take months, weeks, days for preparation or wherever to be able to run that marathon or triathlon, whatever it may be. Like you, again, you're not just waking up and being like, yeah, I just decided today to like, go run this 20-mile marathon or whatever. It's like, no, you prepare yourself for it. You set yourself up for success instead of setting yourself up for failure and burnout and like putting too much on your plate or whatever. And then it's like, there's nothing wrong with coming up with ideas and like possible things to do, especially like within this competition, but spacing it out and not trying to cram it all into 1 week, like it's probably the best way to do, I would say it, because again, you don't know what the future like collaborations or the future challenges are going to be. So one of those things that you're trying to cram in for that week or whatever might be more suitable for, the next week, or might not be suitable for the competition at all, but it might be more suitable for just your own like general content. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
man.
what you been up to, man? What you been up to lately, though? Like
Mm.
what have you been doing outside of like the competition and stuff? What's been transpiring with you? What you got going on?
So outside of competition, I'm in another competition, actually for Glitch Energy. So I got two competitions going right now, and I got work stuff that got to get done. Because I got the performance reports for like three of my airmen. So it's like I gotta get that stuff done, which is due Tuesday. And also on Thursday, I got a draft. I have to draft by Thursday. I have to submit kind of like a picture draft of what because so Glitch, they announced on their Twitter page like a few weeks ago, like maybe a month ago, and was like, hey, we want to collaborate with our community. So they did it with their partners, I guess last year or something like that, and they had a competition between all the partners, and they chose one, and they got their own flavor for Glitch. Well, they're doing it for their community, and I made the top 100 for it, and it was like a spare the moment type thing, and I was like, all right, yeah, I think this flavor would be cool, and it will be named this, and I submitted it, and then they hit me up last Friday and was like, hey, don't say nothing to nobody, but we're gonna make a post about it. But you made it. Here's like what you got to do for the next following weeks, and I have to draft up a label and how it would look. They said I could type it out, whatever, but like having an image and stuff like that, so I can get my full thought across would be best. So I have to draw that up somehow. I've been asking people at work and stuff like that. It's like, can somebody draw up like my idea and stuff like that? Give them thing, and I still don't even got the idea pinned down just yet. I got like I got a few ideas, but it's just like I'm trying to figure out something that will fit the company, because it's like I got some stuff that's probably out of pocket, but try to be somewhat wholesome when it comes to it. But not trying to be too wild with it. But it's just like, it's a cool thing, because it's like they're knocking it from 100 to 10, and then from the 10 it's like whoever wins, and then whoever wins, you have to work with the company and then their people on like getting the flavor stuff right, and then they're gonna put it on for sales where people can buy that product for a limited time. So I think that's cool that they're doing it. They opened it up to their whole community, and people just had to submit their flavor ideas, and it's like to be chosen for the top 100, and it was a spare moment thing, because I totally forgot about it until they messaged me on Friday about it, and I'm just like, oh snap, really? So it's just like, oh, so now it's like I gotta bring out my old sketch pad and try to do something. So it's like I have to get that done by Thursday. So I'm probably gonna be starting to work on, well, not probably, I'm gonna have to start working on that tomorrow. On top of that, I have to start editing our podcast and the collab game review. And then on top of that, I have my TikTok stuff that I've been posting, because I've been trying to be more consistent and like splitting it between posting on TikTok and Twitter. Because today I posted a Twitter post and a TikTok that I had already pre-drafted like Friday, because I had came up with an idea, because it's like I'm pretty much doing what I did with the last like recruits, to where it's like when they announce whatever, I post a video that day, and it's like literally it's like cramming in like an editing sesh like real quick to get something out, to where it's like, and I want to do something different, and that was something that I was doing that was different than people like reacting on stream when they found out. It's one of those things, I didn't do that. I did a different type of reveal type thing. And it's like I changed it up with like how I've been editing some of my videos for this last one, and I just want to keep with that type style where it's like that's separating me. So it's like I'm still doing my research and developing my skills outside of, you know, the whole recruits and everything, because it's like recruits is not my end all be all. Like I already know that.
Yeah.
Whether I get partnered or not, it's I'm still wanted to keep developing my skills, and with the recruits, it's giving me a platform to advertise myself
Yeah.
for that, which is always a bonus. Because even after the last recruits, even though, you know, I didn't make partner or whatever, like I still had a few companies hit me up. Did I partner with any of them? No, because
Yeah.
like some of them were like companies is just like it doesn't, like one of them was for some type of grips for controllers. I'm not a controller player. Why would I partner with you and promote your stuff, get a code, and you send me products out to review and, you know, do stuff, and then like I don't
Oh yeah.
like I don't like first time I touched a controller was when a couple of my buddies came up to visit me a few weeks ago, and that's the first time I touched a controller in like I want to say like a year or so. Like it's I don't I
No,
would like,
I
you know what I
totally agree.
mean? Like I was
Totally agree.
weirded out. I was like, yo, how do I which buttons do what? You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, like you're gonna send me out grips for a controller, and I don't like why you hit me up? Like I'm not a
Yeah.
controller player. Like they probably don't know that, but it's just like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you know.
100%.
And then I think what was it? Another company sent me something for like contact lenses, but they were because it's like I do cosplay, and they found myself on TikTok, and they're like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, here's some content, like, you know, we'll send you out some sample stuff. If you want to do a review, you can, whatever. But you know, if you reach out to us, you know, if you want to do whatever. But I was like, do I want to do that? Because I was like, I haven't really done none of my content for cosplaying on TikTok in like almost a year now. I think the last
Yeah.
one I did was like I want to say like May maybe. So it's just like I was like I thought about it, but then I was like probably not right now. And it's just like I don't really know this company. I don't know how your stuff is. It's like I looked at some of the reviews, and it's like their stuff is not typically like anime cosplay type related, but they do have some, and like the options weren't that much. So it's like I don't even know like what, you know, sample ones I would like choose out, or if I could even choose. And I'm just like it's like you know, respectfully, I was like I declined. So it's just like, and there was a few other companies for some stuff. So it's like just getting the exposure from recruits is amazing. You know, I'm not just doing
Yeah.
it for exposure, but it's just like it's just a bonus to, you know, me just being able to like meet other creators and stuff. Like one freaking is Jimmy, freaking my boy Bobonic Plague, Bizlog and stuff like that. The Minion, you're terminated and stuff. It's just like I like cheese, like bro. Like
Yeah.
there's so many different creators that I've met through recruits that I still like that I've still have collaborated afterwards. People that I still talk to, follow their content, like their content, enjoy their content, and sometimes like when I'm editing, just have their stream up as background noise because it's like it's it's soothing to me. Like it's like I'm good with it. So it's just like
Yeah.
outside of recruits, it's like I'm literally like earlier is like, you know, like you already know Squid is like you've been helping me with like, you know, changing like the different things, camera settings and stuff. I'm trying to better my
Yeah.
content and like learn different things, how to use LUTs. And you told me about Zebra. I was like, Zebra? It's like I have a Zebra on my phone, like on my camera. I was like, what
Yeah.
is a Zebra? Like, and it's like I had to do. You sent me some videos. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just like learning from like other creators, learning from family and whatever, because you never know who knows something about whatever. And it's like I'm using all this stuff and putting it into my content. And it's like I've had people message me like on TikTok and stuff like, yo, your videos are looking crisp, because it's like certain things I've learned about like ISO, freaking color corrections on certain things, the different shutters and freaking aperture, whatever settings. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm learning
Yeah.
that, and I'm better at it on my phone than I am on like an actual camera. It's weird.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so it's
Oh
like
yeah.
that, like outside of like this recruit challenge, it's like I'm still trying to develop myself, because like even if I don't do this for like content creation for like, you know, trying to partner with like a company or whatever, it's like I just want to learn this for myself, because it's like it's something interesting, and it keeps me engaged, and it keeps me like my mind going and keeping it like young, of like, hey, trying to develop myself and better myself with whatever. Because like I'm not the person that likes to sit still and not learn anything. And I love researching stuff. That is like, I would say that is like the, when people say pros and cons or whatever, or like green and red flags, it's like one of my red flags is like research, because I go down a weird rabbit hole. And like I told you, like, was it yesterday or today? I was just like, yo, you sent me those videos, I was watching them, and then next thing I know, I was like watching videos for like 2-3 hours and deep dive. I learned how to
It's
create a
nothing wrong.
LUT and stuff.
It's self-education. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
it. I
that's
think a
yeah,
lot
there's
of
nothing
I think a
wrong,
lot
but
more
it's like I
content
think it's a
creators
con because it's like I
need to
get
do that.
it becomes my life.
There's nothing wrong with that. Absorbing and getting more information and learning how to improve your craft. I think I released a video like on I put it on YouTube as well, but I put it on Twitter, talking about being complacent.
Yeah,
As far as like the type of content that we're doing, listen to the advice of other people who are bigger in the space and stuff, and not really figuring out what works for us, and too busy trying to implement what everybody else is doing and how what everybody else is saying who already kind of made it or wherever, instead of just being like, hey, this information and this like tips and all this stuff or wherever is related to people, doing stuff like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like content creation, at least nowadays, is so ever evolving, like, and so ever flowing like a wave, that there's products, there's websites, there's assets, there's cameras, there's so many things or wherever that allows us to do content creation easier and more fluently with our workflows and stuff, that a lot of people don't realize that's out there nowadays. They're too busy like looking at their favorite streamer or content creator and seeing what they use and see what they're doing or wherever, and just trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna get that because that's what this person used. Okay, I'm gonna continue to use my Logitech C920 is an example I gave in a video. I'm gonna keep doing that because everybody says like you just need a webcam, or I'm gonna use my cell phone because it has like a decent camera settings and stuff all that on. But it's like there's a difference between, like you even said yourself, like using a camera and using a cell phone, and what you can get out of a budget, what's considered a budget camera, than you can get out of your cell phone. And yes, there's channels out there that run off of, like, let's say the best iPhone out there or the best Samsung phone out there, but these are top of the line spec cell phones, whereas statistically, like I said in the video, people are paying no more than $500 for a cell phone. The
yeah,
Samsung phones, the iPhones and all that stuff, the ones that the people are using to run those channels and stuff and do it successfully, those things cost like 1,200 or up. And on top of that, they're making money off their videos and stuff like that. So they can afford to get these products, afford to get all the attachments and everything that you need to get the cell phone footage to look good. You know what I'm saying? Whereas most people, even if they don't have the money, and they won't spend on those attachments, let alone they won't even sit there and learn the ins and outs of how to make their cell phone footage look good. Most people won't even learn how to make the C920 to look as best as you possibly can. They'll just hook it up to the computer, drag it into OBS, and be like, oh, I got a webcam. They tell me this is good enough. This is all I got to do. You know what I'm saying? And they try to be a content creator and then wonder why like nobody's watching the live streams, nobody's watching their video content, like all this stuff. And it's like because you're complacent. You won't do anything to better yourself. You won't do anything for self research, learn how to do stuff, saving up money and being like, hey, this is the stuff that I need to allocate funds towards. You know what I'm saying? And they would just be like, well, one day somebody will come by my stream and gift me X amount of subs. You know what I'm saying? Or donation or something like that. And then that's when I will purchase something. And it's like, sometimes you have to dig into your own personal paycheck from whatever job you're doing or something like that. Maybe, don't buy that coffee every day, you know what I'm saying, to save up for
yeah.
like a month or something. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a way to allocate funds, budget and stuff like that, learn how to do that stuff, see what you're spending your money on that maybe, is not actually needed, and get you an upgrade, if that
And
makes sense.
yeah, and with that, like, don't try to like copy what everybody else has in their setup. So that's a big thing for me, because it's like I've been asked, it's like, yo, it's like your mic sounds crisp. It's like, what mic you have, bro? Like, I have a $400 mic. Like, do I need that? No. The
I use an
reason,
$80 mic.
you know
I'm
what I
fine
mean?
buying. And it
Like,
sounds good.
yeah,
The
and
mic
it's
I'm using
like,
right now for this is like 180.
yeah. So it's like between the two, it's like you probably don't even hear like much of a difference. So it's just
Yeah.
like it's all about how you can customize it. I got this mic, whatever, because I like the specs. I liked how it was. It was ease of use. It's pretty much almost plug and play, but even with this, it's like I had to customize it for how my voice sounds. And a lot of people think it's like I can just plug it in and it's just gonna work. That's not how that goes with like anything. You have to customize it.
Mhm.
Just with like webcams. Yeah, the plug and play, you see an image, but that image is gonna be dog water. Like the cameras that me and my brother are using, it's like we have it set to certain settings. My brother has different settings than I do with our cameras, and you can
Yep.
see the difference in the quality and stuff. And like even with like the other webcams, any webcam I've ever had, it's like I started off with the C922, and it took so much to just to color correct and change it up, and it was still a hot mess. And even
Hmm.
with that, it's like I kept having issues with like I'll close down OBS and I'll bring it back up. I will have to color correct it every time I brought up OBS, and I'm like, why? Like that's dumb. And then Elgato came out with the face cam to where it saves it to the webcam and not have to try to save the settings somewhere else, which is great. But it was better than the C920, C922, the even the freaking Logitech Brio, which is their 4K 130p. It, like it's still better than that, but the whole thing is still a webcam to where it's like I still had to go in there and change the settings to like how my environment in my room is. The lighting and stuff also affects how you change up your camera settings and stuff. Even with your rooms, it changes up how your settings are going to be on your mic. So you're going to have to do research, because just because you plug in a nice mic doesn't mean you're not going to have echoes, doesn't mean you're not going to have feedback, doesn't mean that you're not going to get like the pop in sounds and like the levels and you being too loud peaking and like, clipping and stuff.
Yeah, because I know people who have the Shure SM7B, like my brother does. It's the microphone he's using, and it's like I said, 400, and I think the newer one's like 500.
Yeah, the
And I've
500
seen
on.
people use both of them or wherever, and it sounds completely bad. Like they
Yeah.
don't know how to EQ the microphone at all. So even if you buy that microphone, you still have to make it sound good. And when people don't realize, it's like, oh, so many people use it. Podcasters use it. Michael Jackson used it or whatever to sing and stuff. But people don't realize that they have audio engineers
Yeah.
who EQ that stuff. The people did that for Michael Jackson singing and stuff, even though he used a microphone. People on podcasts, they don't realize that they have somebody sitting there at a podcast like station, like a Mackie DLZ creator or a Rode podcaster or something like that. They have one of those devices, one of those massive room devices, wherever, that's taking up so much room on their table, and they have the people programming it and EQing it and adjusting levels and stuff like that
Yeah,
while they're
on the
doing that
fly,
stuff.
because they have a
Yeah,
headset
people
on
don't
and they're
realize they do that.
listening to that stuff. It's like somebody else
Hmm.
is filtering that for you. And it's
Yep,
like now
people don't
you have to
realize that.
like literally, it's like when people come into content creation, a lot of them think it's just like, oh, I just gotta plug in my console into my PC and start gaming, plug in a mic, get a headset on, and I'm good. It's like, no, you're your own producer, you're your own editor, you're your own telecaster, you're your own audio engineer, you're your own effects person, you're your own visual person. Like, bro, you take on so many hats by becoming a content creator, unless you
Yep.
have the money to go pay. But it's like, I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure like the millions on millions of people that stream, probably like 1% can afford all that. Just
And
saying.
I would say from my perspective, the best editor that I know personally, or wherever, that I have personal contacts with and stuff and everything, um, just to get him to edit my product photography videos and stuff like that, and or my product review videos and everything. We were talking, and I was going to pay him monthly, and it was going to be between $200 and $300. I think it was like 260 to like $80 or something like that. And it was going to be like a video released a week, like every Monday. So it's like 4 or 5 videos a month, and I'm paying him that much or whatever to do that, and that's including, like I said, editing and stuff like that. Yes, I could do the color correction and all this stuff myself, because I have like all the capabilities to like apply LUTs and all that stuff. But he's not like doing the B-roll like I'm doing the B-roll, shooting that, getting a camera slider, doing all that stuff. Wherever, that's still like hours and hours of work. Can take like 8 hours to do a whole entire video, and then I have to ship it to him. He has to edit it, EQ the microphones, make sure all the stuff is leveled, making sure like the product and all, like getting all that stuff. And even with him, me doing most of the work as far as already for him and giving it to him, and just him like putting the B-roll in and stuff like that, because I can EQ the microphone and have color corrected, and all he has to do is just splice the video together. It's still going to be around, like I said, between $200 and $300 a month. And that's for an actual really decent, good like editor, not like something
Fiverr.
off of Fiverr where they're barely editing your videos, or even something like me, or just like even you as a content creator who edits their videos. I'm talking about this guy is top notch quality, and he was willing to, and that was like a deal he was giving me, because for what I was asking, you could have easily paid 300, 400, maybe even $500 a month for an editor of his caliber. So it's like he was just kind of giving me that bro discount kind of thing. So it's like you have to realize, like I said, the bar is set so high, man. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
have to realize, like getting by, like he was saying, like the C920s and stuff. Because even though Logitech actually, I think like 2 days ago or on Friday or Thursday, released a new camera, and I watched a review on it, and the sensor is still old sensor. Even that they won't divulge what type of sensor it is or anything like that, but it's still, I could tell by the video and what he was doing. It looks a little bit better than the C920, but it's still an old, outdated sensor. And yes, like the one from Elgato, the 1080p, the 4K one, and ones I've covered from like OnSbot, and even the OnSbot 4K 30 sensors, they're newer sensors. And I think Elgato works with Zeist, which is actually a company that does actual camera lenses. That's why it looks so good, because they partner with them for that. But again, at the end of the day, even if you have the shutter speed, the ISO controls, the color temperature, all that stuff, it's still a small sensor. It's still a fixed like lens sensor or whatever. It still doesn't go down that much in f-stop and stuff. There's so much mechanics and stuff inside of a lens that, yeah, it'll get you by for streaming if you know how to control your lighting and stuff like that. And it's very important to do that as far as like key lights and background lights and practical lights and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still a webcam that's attached to your deck. You can't go out and vlog. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Some of these webcams cost a lot. Like the OnSbot Tiny 2 that I did a review on and kind of recommend, it's $300 or something like that. The Elgato camera that my brother got, so whatever, the 4K 60, that's like 300, almost $400. Like at that point, like I said earlier, you can save up $200 more and get you the Sony ZV-E10, which we're both using with interchangeable lenses, and you can get a decent lens or wherever for less than, I think, like $198 to almost $300 or wherever, for a decent wide enough lens for vlogging and sitting here having a webcam. So it allows you to diversify your content. A lot of people won't go that far because they're like, whoa, 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 that's way too expensive. I'm not doing that. And like I said in my Twitter video, that's what's holding you back, because you're just being complicit. You're just standing there stagnant because you rather not spend that money because that's too much money for you. And it's like, at this day and age, it's like maybe content creation is not for you, because again, you can get by with those webcams, but some people won't go as far as even paying, like I said, that $150 for a 4K 30 webcam
Yeah.
that has a way to crop in or wherever and track you, like it's digital crop. So it's not as intuitive as the Tiny 2, where we're being gimbal and stuff like that. It's like a fixed camera, but it still has that capability. 4K 30 for $150 is really, really good. But like I said, people won't spend money on that.
Yeah.
They won't.
And it's literally
Or you
it's
get the opposite, where like my brother was saying, they'll go out and get the Shure SM7B, which is $500. Instead of being like, hey, that $500 that could have been allocated towards the $150 webcam and a decent mic for below $100, which
yeah.
there's plenty of companies out there that
And
do
then you
that.
can still have money
And
left over to get a mixer. Like
yeah,
it's
people
like
won't do that.
some like people don't want to do that. It's like they want to go, oh, I need to go drop like $5,000
Just
on
ball
everything.
out.
And it's just like you don't need to ball out, because it's like, say you don't end up doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, Platt, what happened if you stop? It's one of those things. It's I'm a bowler. I like to go bowling and stuff. I have thousands of dollars, like a few thousand, like put into like between my bowling balls, the cleaning, the shoes, the bag, and different things like that. I still bowl, maybe not as much, but it's like I have certain hobbies that I put money into that I continue to do over the years, because I invest that money into a longevity. People are like, well, maybe they will too. I've seen a lot of people that have just dropped like right off rip within the first month, like several grand, and then after 6 months, nothing.
Yeah.
Like I
I know
literally,
people
like
like that.
literally, they don't use any of it, because like I have a coworker or whatever. We started streaming at the same time. After like maybe 6 months, like he was done, and like he went and bought like a good microphone. He went and bought a stream deck. He went and bought a mixer and all this other stuff. and then now all he uses is the microphone, which is a good mic. Like he got himself a good mic
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So where like, you know, it's good. But he's dropped hundreds of dollars, like almost $1,000 on his streaming setup thing, getting him a webcam and all this other stuff. But then after 6 months, it was just nothing because
Mhm.
it's just like you know, like it just wasn't feeling it. And then also it's like it went into like, hey, he ended up having a kid, he moved, you know, his wife's schedule changed and different things like that. There's other outside factors. So it's just like when you don't know when all these outside factors are going to be, it's like, yo, you need to manage your money a little bit better, because it's like buying $150 webcam is not that bad. That's literally like you saving up freaking $20 a month, like $20, putting $20 away a month for about like 7 months. You can go get it. It's like, well, 7 months is a long time. It's like, bro, 2023 is over. You know what I mean? It's just like, bro,
Yeah.
we're already like about to be
This whole
4 months
mentality,
in.
like, just go ahead and start. Just go ahead and start. Get all the stuff while you're starting and while you're doing. No, there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with putting it off until you have all the right
like
equipment. And
over
even if you
time,
get all the
bro.
right equipment, like you said, like getting all that stuff or wherever, and then not doing it at all. That's why I got what I did get when I got my back pay and all that stuff, and I used my money correctly because, like my brother knows, like the cameras that we got or wherever are entry level like cameras. They're
Yeah,
not like full frame, like $1,000 cameras and stuff like
freaking
that. They're like
1,000,
500
2
$1,000.
grand, like, bro.
Yeah,
No,
with the
like,
lenses and all that stuff. I got the right tool for the right job because like even if it's newer or wherever, it's kind of getting old now as far as like when it was released, but the sensors are good enough that like even years to come or wherever, even if I stop streaming, I can still do my product reviews. I can still go out and vlog. I can still go out and take pictures and stuff like that, family portraits and everything if I want to get into photography. Like there's so many different things I can use this equipment for other than just sitting at my desk and streaming. But that's what people do. They'll get stuff just for streaming, and then when they realize like that this rose tinted glasses were a thing about streaming, 6 months down the line they stop, and now they have to get rid of all this equipment because they got it just for streaming. They didn't get it that it could be used in other ways. And that's why I keep trying to tell people about diversifying the content, not just getting into this, oh, I'm streaming and I'm just going to play video games and that's it. That no longer works. That again, we're
yeah,
not back in the days with machinima and the first days of YouTube and stuff like that, where you can just play gameplays or wherever, or the early days of Justin TV before it turns into Twitch. Like we're not there anymore. There's so many people out there who are not only just playing video games, they're painting on stream, they're dancing on stream, they're working out, doing gym routines and stuff, actually giving you I would say educational information about eating healthy, doing all that stuff. They're vlogging and stuff, they're doing content like we're doing, and like you have to realize that when you get these gear and stuff like that, to get you the right tool for the right job, and sitting there only getting stuff that's going to help you stream is not what you should prioritize. It should
yeah,
be able to not only help you stream, but also do other facets and types of content. Because you might end up being like me. I enjoy streaming, I enjoy playing video games, but I find more enjoyment in doing the product reviews, doing the B-roll segments, taking product pictures and stuff, learning about cameras, possibly, start doing, family portraits and photography and stuff like that. Like I've gotten backdrops and stuff to be able to do that kind of stuff. I liked vlogging and stuff for a little bit when I was doing that. I kind of want to get back into doing that when I can and stuff. But like doing that kind of stuff, like I'm telling you, being a multifaceted content creator, yeah, it's going to put a little bit more strain and a little bit more on your plate to what you got to do to make it work and everything. But like I said, it's going to be a better investment money wise to be able to do that than just sitting there, like my brother said, like getting you stuff or wherever that's tied down to just sitting there at your desk.
you make
100%.
yourself more marketable by having different sides to yourself than just having one linear way of doing things. Because like even with me, it's like, yeah, I got the camera or whatever. My brother actually suggested like this camera and a couple others, but as I ended up going with this one, because it's like even though he suggested it, I even did my own research, and it's like, yes, it's an entry level like vlogging creating camera. And it's like I've used it for TikToks, I've used it for stream. I literally just used it a couple of weeks ago for at work because they were like, "Hey, we need somebody to take photos," and somebody was like, "I got an iPhone," and I was like, "I got a real camera." It's like, bro,
Yeah.
it's like I versatile, like made it more versatile for me to utilize it. And then even on that, I went and got myself a tripod to where it's like now it's like, yeah, I got my tripod to where I can do TikToks and stuff with to give myself a different angle. I also got a tripod to where it's like if I want to go out somewhere else and I'm taking photos of myself or just out there vlogging and I just want to be out talking in nature or whatever, or if I just want to do some type of other thing and I don't have a cameraman to hold a camera or whatever, I want something more stable. I got that. Even with that, as I even got a gimbal right off rip into where it's like I used my gimbal when I went to a little lantern festival thing and I used it with my phone to where it's like it has AI tracking and stuff like that to where different things to where it's like I'm diversifying what I have so I'm not just stuck at my desk. I can change up the
Mhm.
angles. I can change up different things. And it's like I've been posting TikToks about, making change with your stuff. And it could be the most simplest of things. And a lot of people don't want to
Mhm.
do that. And I'm like, yo, it's like sometimes, and it's like I posted a TikTok in the last week and I was just like literally just posting gamer clips, game clips and stuff like that. It's just not gonna cut it anymore. And literally, it
Yeah.
was like people have amplified that to where it's like people have start doing jump cuts, they're doing slowdowns, ramp ups, and different things to where it's like they're doing stuff to the beat of the sound and stuff like that, adding in memes and effects, and it's like some high quality production. You just posting like, "Hey, I got like a couple headshots in like 30 seconds." It's it's just not gonna like that. That
Yeah,
it's just not
people
gonna
are
fly. It's
pretty much
not.
what you're saying. It's like they're making montages or
Yeah,
whatever that
like the
people used to do
montage
on
era is
YouTube,
like done and
and
over,
then
bro.
yeah, they're bringing it down to like 30 seconds or whatever, and it's just high quality. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like people just think because I'll do streaming because it's easy, and it's like, bro, like no, it's set the bar set so high. And don't get me wrong, the bar is kind of high in like other aspects of content creation, but it's more open to all types of people within that, I would say, circle of content creation. So yeah, there's high quality people out there and other aspects outside of gaming, but you can still get by doing, I would say, the bare minimum. Whereas gaming and streaming and posting clips or wherever, like I still do it even with my clips from stream. I just posted it wherever with barely any editing, just because like I'm just getting out there because that's not my bread and butter. I don't really care about that doing that stuff because my bread and butter is doing like the YouTube stuff. But what I'm saying is like my main recommendation for people who are getting into content creation is not even to stream at this point. It's not
yeah,
like playing video games or where it's not even that. It's better for you to start off doing YouTube videos or TikToks and stuff, even if it's on games and stuff like that. But I would just, even if you like playing video games like I do, right? I sit there and play video games, I'll stream them and stuff. But again, my main content is posting those long form contents on product reviews. I would suggest people doing that type of content because that's going to be more stable as far as sea legs and stuff, getting stuff like you getting you off the ground or wherever, and getting the subs and the viewership and all that stuff if you do other type of content outside of just streaming video games. Because like I said, it's hard even with like a newer streaming platform. It's hard to get you to views. It's hard to depending on even on the games or wherever, even on something newer like a Kick platform or another streaming platform pops up. It's hard for you to even get recognized or noticed or wherever because some of these games are still even saturated on those platforms, which
yeah,
are newer than Twitch. And not to mention if you're posting it like on TikTok and stuff like that, like in certain games, people expect you to be esports pro or already established name in that space, wherever like Apex or Call of Duty. If you're not playing a certain game mode, they don't care about seeing that content or something like that, or they always are better than you, than they don't post anything or whatever, but they're worse than you. Like there's always like that kind of stuff. But when you're posting videos on other educational stuff, like maybe you're very knowledgeable in like mechanic work, or maybe you can actually paint a decently, or maybe you got a good singing voice, or you can actually dance, not this trash TikTok dances, but you can actually dance. Maybe like I don't know, maybe you got some kind of facet of knowledge or something like that. You should be posting that stuff and then being like, yeah, I game, I stream or wherever every now and then, but sitting there streaming, 6, 8 hours or wherever playing video games and then trying to like, oh, I got a squad wipe in Apex. Let me just post that squad wipe and that's it.
yeah,
And then you're not getting really any views and you're wondering like, why are my streams not popping off? Why is my viewership on a clip not popping off? Oh, I'm going to quit after 6 months because, it was so hard or wherever everybody was telling me to get this, that, and third. Now I spend all this money on this equipment. And you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's going to be a struggle, even if you don't do gaming or wherever on YouTube. It wasn't like one day I woke up and I had over 1,000 subs on YouTube. It was over the course of doing this for like product reviews for like a year or two. like for me to be able to, get to where I'm at now.
Yeah, like even for me, it's like I'm starting to get into my own groove with my motivational like TikToks, because like yeah, the views are still around the same, but it's just like I'm getting more interaction with them, with likes and people commenting, than what I normally would. And one thing is like I found out about myself is like I enjoy like recording and like editing down like, hey, this is like how I want to go about stuff. I want to motivate people. I want to let people know it's okay to like pretty much not be okay. It's okay that, you're not getting the views and different things like that. You got to work on yourself. You got to work on this, that, and the other. Hey, you might want to think about like streaming less, do a little bit more research on this, develop your skills, develop yourself. And developing doesn't mean you constantly stream to become a better streamer. Like even with me, it's like I even posted a TikTok recently and I was like, hey, you need to just talk to your chat, because a lot of people just get on, and like I was the same person. It's like I'll get on stream, I'll hit the go live, it'd be like my starting soon screen for like maybe a couple minutes, and then I'll go straight into gaming, and then people be like messaging me or whatever, and it's like I totally miss it. And a lot of people forget the talking piece when it comes to like streaming, and people are like, well, I'm not comfortable talking to people, but it's like you got like you're live streaming, people want to interact with you. Is an interaction, is literally you live interacting with people. So it's just like I had to teach myself that, to where it's like I wholeheartedly am not a people person. I might look like it on stream and different things like that, but if you get to know me, it's like it takes me a minute to break out of my own shell, to get out of my own kind of bubble of like, hey, letting people in. And I had to develop that for myself on stream. So it's like I literally would I set a timer for start off with like 5 minutes, to where I had to talk for 5 minutes straight and not just like ramble and say like just whatever. I literally was talking to like myself, not asking myself questions so I can answer myself. It's literally having like a story, to where it's like I'm coming up with subjects and stuff, and it all just flow together, to where it's like I am consistently talking. I started with 5 minutes, and then I moved that bar to 10 minutes, because it's like I found some advice through TikTok, to where it's like they're like, hey, take that time at the beginning of your stream, because that's like one of the vital times in your stream, is starting off on a good note and allowing people to come into your chat. Because like within like say the first like 30 minutes, like some people get notifications late, sometimes the notifications mess up and different things like that, and sometimes notifications will get pushed out to like 10 minutes after you have already started.
Yep.
And then so allow time for your chat to come in, start some type of conversation. It's like have notes on a notepad right next to you. Like, look, I can literally reach down and grab a notepad that I still have at my desk. Like I still have it here, to where I have something to write with, to where it's like I gotta write down ideas, or it's like something happens during my stream and I write it down so I can talk about it the next day. So it's just like I have something to talk about, to where it's like you're just not trying to make stuff up. You actually have content for yourself. And even if it's not for your live stream, it's for whatever you're going to post on YouTube, on freaking TikTok, Instagram, or whatever. You can always develop your skills by doing stuff off stream. And I used to say it all the time, like after my first year of streaming, I was like, 90% of what you do for your stream is off stream. And like 90, like people are like, huh? Like it's easy to click a go live button. I'm just saying, like literally you can have like no banners, you can have no animation, no chat things popping up, no light reaction and stuff like that. Hitting go live and then like playing a video game is super simple. But the whole interaction and entertainment, because it's literally you're in the entertainment field, that is all developed off stream. How graphics are, your camera settings, your EQing your mic and different things like that, how your PC runs, the programs you use, that's all outside of streaming. Your personality and who you are is outside of streaming, because it's like that's something you developed over the years of you just being alive, and how you want to portray yourself. Not saying that you're trying to be fake when you go live and fake your personality on stream, because it's like me and Squid are literally 100% our own selves on stream 100% of the time. We don't like something, we're gonna say it. If like we're having a good time, we're gonna have it. It's like we're having a crap time, bro, you're gonna see it. You know what I mean? It's like we're just honest, 100%. We're truthful, we're genuine, we're gonna be ourselves. So it's just like you trying to just try to be like Dr. Disrespect, Tim the Tatman, or freaking, I don't know, Pokimane or whoever. It's like, yeah, you can use them as inspiration, but do not try to use them to emulate them. Be yourself. But that's all developed outside of streaming. And like I was saying, it's like I literally talked to myself in the mirror. Like that was literally a thing. Like I would sit there and do that. And then after I did that to where I can like talk to myself, I literally would come to my own computer, look at my webcam, hit the record button in OBS, and then talk. And then I started recording myself to make sure that I'm actually looking at the camera, seeing if I'm like trying to like look away, if I'm trying to like, whatever, the lighting, how I act on stream, to where it's like, am I like moving too far left or whatever? It's like, am I moving too far back and forth from my mic? Because I'm an animated person. Like I move, like as you've been seeing, my hands are going and different things like that. I lean back, I lean forward. It's like making sure that my mic can still pick me up at a good level. And it's like when I move back, it doesn't like cut down too low. Like I had to adjust all that, and that's all outside of streaming. And a lot of people don't get that concept of like, I can just go live. And then some people have their mouth like right on their mic, and it's just like, dude, you're eating it. I don't want to hear the inside of your freaking esophagus, bro. Like I'm just being honest with you, bro. You know what I mean? So it's just like all those adjustments and different things are outside of streaming, and some people just don't grasp that. They're like, dude, like even our sister literally hit me up. She did a project for her college and different things, and she was doing all that work and stuff into it, and she let me know. She was like, she has more of a respect for me and my brother, because she knows we put a lot of work into what we do for our skill and our developing our streams and stuff, and like what we do for content. And she was just like, her just doing what she did for her project, she was like, I did not like, it's like it's clicking more on like how much work we put into this. And it's like I'd literally been asked at work, they're like, Sergeant, like how do you have time for stuff? And I'm like, what do you mean, how do I have time for stuff? They're like they know I stream, but then like they watch my stream, and they're like, we know you work, and we know you work later than us, and then you have to go do other stuff, but then you're pumping out all this stuff, and then you stream on top of that. It's like, and you're editing and stuff, and it's just like, when do you have time to just like chill out, or like how do you have time to do all this? It's just like, bro, like one, I barely sleep. I probably get like 5 hours of sleep like daily, and that's like an average, but it's like more of the time it's probably less than that, like daily and stuff like that, except on like probably the weekends I might get about like 7 hours of sleep. But it's one of those things, it's like you have to develop those skills over time outside of streaming. 90% of what you're going to do is outside of your stream, and people don't grasp like I see, my friend streams, I can stream, and it's like, that's typically not it, because it's like you never know how you will change as a creator over time. Because like even with me, I started off playing Destiny when I first started streaming. Now I play Apex, but in like the 5 years of me, almost 5 years of me streaming, I've played so many games in between those two over the years, and it's like my games have changed, which my community has changed. When I switched from I had a Destiny 2 following, and then when I switched over to Paladins, like my Destiny 2 people kind of fell off and started watching me, and then I started getting Paladin community, and then I just started getting back into Call of Duty, playing Division 2 and stuff like that. So I started getting the COD community and stuff, and the Paladin community kind of fell off, and then they came back when I went back to it. And then I started playing Apex, and I've been on the Apex grind forever. But then like all the people I used to play Paladins with, that who used to watch me for Paladins, they stopped coming back to my stream. So it's like, some of them subbed to me and stuff like that, gave bits and different things. And it's like when you switch games, because say a game's not relevant anymore in your mindset, not saying it's just not relevant and like, for other, and you're just trying to pick a game that's relevant. It's just like, it's not fun for you, because it's like one of the reasons I stopped playing Paladins, they got rid of their esports, so the support for their stuff went down. They started doing more microtransactions and stuff for a free game. And it's just like, it just wasn't fun anymore, because it's just like the content wasn't there for me to be enticed to still play. So I was like, I need a new game
too. I dropped off of that so quick.
And that's one of the reasons I got off Destiny.
The PvP, and it's like now everybody's finally catching on. Like, hey, maybe we
Yeah.
should stop playing Destiny 2. And it's like it's
So
at the end of the life cycle of the game.
yo,
And
when
then
they
like you
s-
got
when they
games out there like we talked about was it Lethal Company? We
yeah
just don't really care for that type of game. And everybody's like,
yeah.
oh, the Lethal Company's so good. And I watch some of my friends play it, but it's like
If it's
I'm
so good,
mostly
why do you
watching
gotta
it for
mod it?
them. Yeah, and I'm like I'm watching it mostly for them, not necessarily the game, because I don't like the game. I
Yeah,
really don't.
I've
Honestly,
played it like
the
twice.
lore of it,
It
I don't
it's
know.
just not enough content for me. It's like, well, you can mod it and have fun with friends. I'm like, if I have to mod something for it to be a good game, it's not a good game. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
It's like if you have to change up the basis of how the game is played, to
yeah.
me, it's a
Because
crap
as
game.
a mod should only add to the enjoyment, not make the
The
game
game,
enjoyable.
yeah. Like
So
it's just like I don't know. Like that's how I feel with that because it's like your content is always going to change and develop no matter how you feel about it because it's like either you get better at the game to where it's like you start enhancing your skills and showcasing that or you switch games and it's like because it's like hey a new game came out and it's taking over your life to where it's
yeah,
like yo this is what I enjoy now and it's like now you might lose followers and viewers based off of your choices and stuff and you got to understand it and some people is like well they should watch me for whatever I play. We're all human, we know what we like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like you acting
That's
like
what
it's
people
like
don't understand.
you might like a certain
That's what.
cell phone right off the rip but guess what
Oh
you
yeah.
probably got a new phone and over time they stopped supporting it and I think I just saw like the support for the 360 Xbox finally dropped it or it's about to be
Yeah.
dropped like this year. So it's just like people still play their Xbox 360, but guess what? You're not gonna have any support, and it's pretty much like a dead console now. So it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like you know what I mean? It's just like it's one of those things. It's like over time you're going to change as a creator, and it's like if you're already honing your skills and developing yourself as a creator, you're more setting yourself up for success to where it's like you can handle when you're not going to get the views that I've seen people that hit partner and then right when they hit partner people just stop watching them and it's like they go from having like 100 to 120 people watching them and they're partner streamers and you're looking at it's like how you partnered and you only have like 20 viewers like consistently
Mhm.
for like months to a year. Like
Yep.
I've literally seen partner streamers like that to where it's like they hit partner or they've been a partner and then it's like over time guess what the viewership dropped and it's like but they stayed with what they were doing. It's like they didn't
Mhm.
change anything up and it's like over time it's like you have to it's you're in like I said earlier you're entertaining people you always have to grow as a creator. Not saying it's like you always have to be gimmicky you have to be flashy and stuff like there's a lot of people that have the most minimalistic type of setups but they're very enjoyable because of the personality of who the person is. Developing yourself and bettering yourself, people will see that and it brings people in and entices people.
Like you said, video games die or wherever support no longer there. A new video game comes out that's better than this one, or something like that, or something happens to the game studio closes or something. Like there's so many different things that can go wrong or wherever, with you just hyper focusing on one game. And then what you have to realize, like you said, if you end up switching games or wherever, your viewership is going to tank or wherever because people are only watching for that game. And when you're starting out, you're not an established personality yet to people are not watching you just because of your personality. And people are like, well, they're not real supporters or wherever if they, but it's like, bro, you just started out.
Yeah.
Like you probably don't even have a sub button on your channel yet, or maybe you do, but you only have like 2 or 3 people that watch your stream in the first place. So obviously nobody's sitting there watching you because of your personality or anything like that. They don't even know you. You've been streaming for like 3 or 5 years, but you haven't been doing anything outside of streaming that's bringing people into into what you're doing on your live streams. And on top of that, people will say this rhetoric of like just post on other platforms and then migrate people to your viewership. And it's like people will post, like I said, barely any effort or whatever into their edits on other platforms and barely getting any views and be like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And it's like, because you're gaming. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Some people can do it, but it's like going to be like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000. That's going to be able to just game or wherever, make simple edits, even if they do the over editing, Mr. Beast, like hyper edits and stuff, whether it be short form or long form. Even if they do that, even the 1 in 1,000, there's only going to be like one in that 1 in 1,000 that's going to be able to move those people from that social media platform to another one. because what people don't realize, it hidden within the algorithm, there's stuff that listens to your videos and stuff, and they don't want you telling people to go to another platform because they want you to keep people on their platform. So you're not going to get that much exposure. Having stuff that pops on screen about your socials and all that stuff, that actually hinders. That's why some people say when you post a go live tweet or something, just say link in bio. Don't actually post a link to your Twitch page or YouTube page or Kick page, whatever it is, because the algorithm won't push out that tweet. And some people who are even following you won't even see that tweet
Yeah.
because you're telling people to go to a different platform. A lot of people don't know
Yeah.
this information. That's why I keep saying when it comes to content creation, especially getting into it, maybe you're a content creator and you don't have that much viewership and stuff. This can even apply to you too. Stop gaming, stop streaming or wherever, and just playing video games and with that lower view count, and focus on honing your craft as a content creator who does other things, who casually streams and plays video games, but focus on doing content other than gaming. Because again, that's what's going to get you established, get your roots into the ground, make that cornerstone for you to be able to explode as a content creator.
So many people get so stuck. It's like, well, I need to stream and I need to be live for people to see me. It's like you get seen other places. If people see you in other spaces and stuff, like you get more noticed. Because it's like for me, it's like, yeah, I streamed on Twitch for like the longest time for like a year before I started doing TikTok content, and I'm just like, well, people say to diversify my stuff, and I was like, I don't know how to really do that. And I was like, I had created a TikTok, posted a couple of gamer clips, and they didn't really go anywhere. And I was just like, bro, like, what am I supposed to do with this? I was like, I don't know how to edit. I don't know this, that, and the other. And all right, and it's like one of those things. It's like I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, yo, I start posting on TikTok, but I didn't start posting more gamer clips. I switched up completely what I wanted to do. I started giving like Twitch advice and different things on like how to do different things and just my viewpoint on stuff as like a beginner streamer. So it's just like allowing yourself to diversify yourself on other platforms. And it wasn't just me just mainly pasting gamer clips anymore. And like even now, like I might throw a gamer clip in like once a month, maybe, or less. So it's just like I completely just moved from just posting gamer clips and started doing like different unboxings, freaking just like IRL stuff, doing just motivational stuff for like streamers and content creators and stuff. You have to switch things up. Like that's the biggest thing when it comes to content, like being a streamer. Switching things up, making change over time is the way to go, and not just staying, like my brother's been saying, don't stay complacent.
Appreciate your time, everybody, for checking it out. This is kind of like just a pilot episode. I'm not sure if we're gonna, continue to do this maybe like every 2 weeks or something. I don't know, maybe like shorter. We'll just see how it goes. We'll check the engagement on this and stuff. Hopefully, you guys gained some insight, some inkling of, I would say, educational information from this and everything. Go forth and make really good quality content with this info that you got.
Yeah.
With that being said, my name has been Squidhead Joe. If you're watching it from my perspective on YouTube or something like that, there will be links in the description to my brother's social media. You've been seeing it on screen the whole entire time. So definitely check him out. Great, awesome content creator out there doing his thing over there. So definitely follow all his social media links. Again, it'll be linked in the description. And with that being said, y'all over on Kick, have a squid-tastic day. God bless you and yours. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Deuces, everybody. Much love.
Flat out, same goes for my bro Squid. Just go follow him. I'll be linking him too, and like we definitely gonna try to do this more often. All right, much love to y'all. Flat out, take care of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all around self-care, self-love for yourself, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right, deuces.
Deuces.